Hello.
Morning.
How you doing?
Morning,
Good
Mal.
man. How are you? Hey Michelle. Hey Mel.
Everyone okay?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah, missing
Enjoying your
working.
supposed to be time off?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm on vacation. That's fine. Twitter AMAs don't count for vacation time. This is special.
You were going to say something, Volcron?
already forgot. It's been a heck of a morning already.
Already? It's only getting started.
Yeah. Oh, one of my doggies is being silly today, and it's just,
Oh,
you know how it goes.
so I have to say, Willow Martin says he will not be able to join us on Twitter today. So in respect for him, we'll just hold off on talking about dates at all until he's able to make it. Is that cool with everybody? Yeah. Okay. Let me know if that's okay in Discord. If we'll wait for a second. But anyways, are we ready? Are we ready to get started? It's 10:02 on my Oh, thank you, Vulture. Audio is great. But welcome everybody. We'll just kick off. Welcome everybody. It is what? Today's December 12th. Excuse me, 2nd. Whoops, it's December 2nd. So thanks everybody for joining us. We've been doing these weekly AMAs since July. And we're just going to keep doing them. We have a lot of fun. We really appreciate everybody's questions and notes on them. And welcome all of you Gala folks on the stage. Mal, Pablo, Farmer Michelle, Volcron, welcome everybody. A little bit down to, was Resource going to join us on the stage today? If so, come on
I'm
on.
not sure.
Okay, well, we'll see. Maybe we can go ahead and get started. Michelle, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, so we didn't have a lot that updated in the game this week because we did our big update last Wednesday, right before the holiday. So the only thing we did update this week on Monday was the Guided Blade Ghost cards and the big storehouse. The big storehouse did have some issues when we first released it, but we did fix that Tuesday before the competition started. And it also looks like the auto applying of ghost cards was fixed in the update this week. So that's exciting because it was kind of annoying, I'm sure, for everybody to have to go in there and continue to reapply their ghost cards after every reset. So that's good. Milk competition started on Tuesday. We did have a lot of people experiencing some FPS issues, and I know that we are looking into what may be causing them. Though as a community, we did manage to help a lot of people rebalance their towns, which did help with a lot of the FPS issues. Like a lot of people they had too many workers or too much wood, and it's a very tight balance sometimes at Townstar. And once you get it perfectly balanced, a lot of the FPS issues tend to go away for some people, not for everybody. But we are looking into those cases where FPS is still an issue. We did send Ornament 7 out on Monday and the Guided Blade Ghost card. We are also still trying to figure out why the treasure chest version of Ornament 7 isn't working. So you do still have to mint it from your treasure chest to the Ethereum network in order for you to get the boosts that come along with it. The epic and rare ornament packs are now sold out. There's about 8 weeks left for the temporary boost for owning all 12. As a reminder, again, that temporary boost is a 50% walking speed increase, a 50% global wage reduction, 75% in-store building cost reduction, and a 75% reduced cost for destruction when clearing. We do know that the marshes and the scrubs accidentally got left out, and those are going to be added back in on Monday. So they will be in there with 75% reduced cost as well. So yeah, there's about 8 weeks left of that temporary boost. So if you haven't gotten all 12 yet and you're still looking to get your temporary boost, you've definitely got plenty of time. And I did see some people asking if we were going to continue to do every 2 week competitions through the holidays, and that is the plan. We don't have any plans to cancel any for the holidays.
Woohoo! Yeah,
I think that's all I've
Dubstep.
got.
Yeah, Dubstep. We are talking on the AMA. I guess you're not going to hear this. So yes, we are talking. If somebody let him know that. Hopefully, he can jump in and hear it. But hey, before we move on, what does everybody think about all of the ornaments? I mean, I saw a lot of trading. I got my set. Any comments on Discord? I think everybody's trying to help DubstepRod get into hearing us on Twitter. So Mal, Michelle, you've been watching community, listening, and what are some of the things you've been seeing?
I think they're spoiled rotten. The utility has spoiled you all. But it's nice to see everyone enjoying those. It's one of those kind of fantasies when you play a game a lot to have a sort of God mode, isn't it? That just day where you can just do a few cool things. So it's nice to see everyone sort of been taking big advantage of the ornaments.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, one of the things about God modes, right? If it becomes a permanent thing or a forever thing, games kind of get boring, right? Imagine if you're playing a first-person shooter and you have invincible mode. I know, it just becomes boring after a while. So I like how you set that up to work super strong for a while, and then have a kind of a relaxed, permanent upgrade. One of the things I saw out there is that who was it? Rabinos was asking, will the unsold packs be burned? How many unsold packs do we have?
I think it's about 1,000 odd uncommon
Okay.
packs only left now.
Okay. So it's dropping down. I guess we'll see what happens, Ravenovs. If we sell out, we won't have to burn them. Let's see, what else do we got there? There was oh yeah, LV Postman about the graphics, like the package graphics. What else do people think about the ornaments? Oh, good. Okay, Willow Martin. Love them. Not a big gotcha fan. Got it. Okay. 2 cents. Made me cry on the inside. Okay. Any other Michelle, did you hear any notes or kind of things you wanted to bring up about people's comments on the ornaments?
Not really. People definitely seem to like them. People who got them. I know it was like a big change in towns when I first got Ornament 7 and minted it. I could tell in my town that there was just such a big difference in how the game was running. Just even with that speed boost, it was crazy. I had to like reorganize my entire town just to make it work properly. It was so cool.
It's pretty
It's so
cool.
nice to see those cows running around.
Well, Bake talked about fun trading them, right? Yeah, I like that too. I was watching people. I've got some to trade as well. I'm just going to wait off a bit. Kind of handled that this weekend. Anything else on TSL, folks? I see Resources joined us on the stage.
Howdy, howdy. All the way from Texas. Howdy, howdy. Um, we do have a little something going on Townstar Live. As usual, we're kicking butt and taking names. I'm not sure if you mentioned it. I got here a little bit late. It might be a little early for a leak, but maybe, just maybe.
What are you leaking first?
Malik,
Maybe hear me first.
Well, Michelle, do you have an image of what I'm thinking of?
I
Oh,
do
that
not
one.
know. No, I couldn't find one. I did look though.
All right, I'm fired. I will back down.
Maybe we could find one before we get to the leaks section at the end.
Absolutely, I will do my best, and we'll see if we can post that.
Cool. Michelle, what's next on our agenda?
We're moving on to Townstar Live on Godot updates, if there is any.
Oh, let's get Volcron to go first. I know he's got some cool stuff to share.
Oh
He always
yeah.
does. Always does.
If there is any. Oh my goodness. I'm actually going to keep it a little. I'm going to play it a little close to the chest this week because we've done so much internal work. Sometimes it's fun to leak features or whatever, but if I get to talking about all the cool, amazing things that our guys have been doing, I might inadvertently, I don't know, I don't want to spill like any trade secrets or whatever, but I do have updates. One of the first visible ones that you would see if you were testing this game here is some of the improvements to the performance. That's a big part, obviously, as we're getting closer and closer to a date. That's an important part of what we're doing, and some of that also isn't just perf, like CPU improvements, RAM usage, stuff like that. Some of it is also redoing a little bit of the logic. For example, let's say there's a unit walking toward a wheat field, and you remove the wheat field. What happens internally to those units when they change their plans now that wheat field is gone? So some improvements there, and then some more work on our internal tools for user and town management. We want to make sure it's pleasant for everybody. If somebody is a naughty player and they're doing things that get them banned or flushed down the commode for some reason, then we want to make sure that that's explainable and that we have kind of an audit trail and stuff like that. So always taking care of people. We know sometimes there's misunderstandings and things like that. So taking care of that in our tools. It's cool to talk. I think it's cool to talk about QA because they're our sanity check. They're our lifeblood in terms of making sure that our code is solid, keeping our reputation strong. So we're building in some nice QA tools. I didn't think we were going to have time to, but a couple of the devs came up with some really interesting solutions for that. Help them do what they do best, break our game, and help us fix it. Let's see. You talked about
Volcron,
Oh,
pause
sorry.
on there just for
Yeah.
a second. So, like we talk about a lot of times behind the scenes, there's a lot of work that has to happen in terms of, I don't know, we just don't make the game and then hand it over. QA tools, admin tools. Can you
Oh,
share a
yeah.
little bit about what some of the QA tools, some of the stuff that we give our QA team to help them test and find out stuff's going wrong
Yeah.
with the game? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love talking about this stuff. It's so interesting because it's the behind the curtain kind of stuff that you don't really get to see as a player. But for example, you can imagine if you're on the team and one of the devs said, "All right, I've implemented this cool feature." I don't know. Let's say it's something with harvesting energy. Well, if you just play the game and you just start off with a blank town or a starter town, to get from starter town to having harvestable energy takes a minute or two. And if you multiply that by like 50 times a day, that's a real time sink. So we want to give QA the ability to do things like add and remove currency from their town, do other cheats that the legendary SK is famous for,
Hmm.
making sure that they can speed up their town. So they're like, okay, well I've put these 15 buildings in place. I want to see what happens a half hour from now, but I can't wait a half hour. So let's go 60x for a couple minutes. Adding and removing NFTs, making sure that the things that are on the board are behaving the way we think they are. And there's even some super interesting overlap with load testing. For anybody who's not familiar with that, that's when you say like, okay, you've written a server, awesome, you guys are smart devs. Let's see how it handles 10,000 users trying to do the same thing at once. And then you look at where the server falls over. 10,000 is a random number. It's it could be higher or lower. I don't want to give out our numbers, but yeah. So load testing is important. Building tools to load test, being scientific about it, deterministic, and saying like, well, here's a script that'll create a town in a certain order. What's the load test when that town is created with one user, 10 users, 100 users, and so on? And that helps us just provide a better experience for everybody as well as reduce server costs, right? So
Right.
we don't want
So it's
expensive
not even.
servers.
So it sounds like it's not just does this building work the way we expect it works, but like testing the whole systems and like you said, what happens when 10,000 people are all playing at once? How does the servers act, right?
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, I know a lot of times people think QA is just play the game, right? And that's why I was kind of asking you to chime in there, because it's
Oh,
so much more than just play the game. With all the
oh,
stuff you just shared, right?
Oh yeah, no. In fact, I guess there is that misrepresentation, right, or misunderstanding of what QA does. No, when we write our tickets, let's say you get something like add a add. This was a couple months ago, but add the ability to rename your town. The dev does the work, and then they put in their ticket, they're like, well, here's how you would test this feature, which is kind of like the definition of done a little bit. And say, click this button, you should get a pop-up, enter your name, hit enter, and whatever. What QA usually does then is they step in and they're like, okay, well, what happens if I click the button 3 times? What if I right click it? What if I come in and I have a script that clicks it 200 times a second? What if I enter -1 for the value? What if I enter nothing? What if I inspect the element and try to stuff it full of garbage? So there's all sorts of ways that you can break software, and having QA is an incredibly creative job. So and we have super smart people on our team, so it's really awesome to give them the tools that they need.
Thanks for jumping in on that. That's one of the things,
Sure.
again, I just like to share, a little bit behind the scenes and what happens. Most people think, everybody gets together and say, hey, let's make a game. And then everybody just starts coding and magically making art, and suddenly it's done and together, and we push it out. And then they say, well, why does it take so long? Right? Why didn't you have this done yesterday? Why didn't you have it done last week? Or like we saw a
Yeah.
little earlier, when, right? So I think my goal is just to help everybody in our community understand a little bit more, all the hard work that the team is doing behind the scenes. But
Mhm.
anything else there to share on
Yeah.
good?
Well, there's a couple questions people are asking, like, hey, your regression tests are manual. What shouldn't that be automated? Like, yeah, of course we have automated tests there, but there are certain things that you just can't automate. That's the reality of timelines and work. The other would be for the updates for the product is, well, I think you're probably going to go into this a bit, but our tasking and planning and making sure all our ducks are in a row, and we're thinking about the upcoming release as well as the future and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's see. Maybe are we ready to move on past Godot? Do we miss anything? What is
Let's
SK? SK
see.
is our lead tester. They often show up at the top of the tournament boards, and everybody's wondering what's going on, how they get there, because they do testing for us. One agent, I love it. The QA stands for Quality Assurance People. P is silent. Nice. Such on a couple of questions. What type of improvement is the team making as far as Townstar nodes to help the ecosystem for the game? Right now, our focus is on getting this Godot version out. I know that the node team is continuing making upgrades, and we'll be announcing changes in that in the future. We're not ready to talk about it right now, but the whole ecosystem's being upgraded as we speak. And of course, we're going to be in Jiri, so that's a big exciting moment there. I see from Willow Martin that apparently transcripts are saying I talk like hip hop for crime pausing. They're different. So let's see what that does with the transcripts right now. Anyways, so are we done with Godot updates? Maybe?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's next, Michelle?
I think we're moving into Q&A next. We ready to answer some questions?
Go for it.
Well, the first question I have is, will there be town power? Will there be Gala power? Do players need to hold a certain number of Gala power level to place all their NFTs?
Got it. Yeah, no town power, no Gala power, guys. And people are wondering, wait, it's not included in the light paper. Yeah, it's not part of the economy going forward. So yeah, just that's out. We think we've got the new economy set up the way we think it's going to work, and we're going to go for it that way. Town power, to me, I gotta tell you, I joined Gala after Town Power and Gala Power were a thing, and I can kind of get why I was doing it, but we didn't even really include it in the thinking for going forward. What's the next question?
Next question I have is, how will the Townstar economy stay independent from other game economies?
How will they stay independent? I'm not sure how they're linked or how they would be linked to totally, totally different games, right? So our economy is totally different than Spider Tanks and all the other games that are coming out in the future. So, there could be some connection through Gala, of course, as we use that sometimes for currency. But yeah, no, they're just different games.
And the follow-up to that was, is it possible that Townstar will also choose to use Gala as its game token in the future?
Oh, is it possible? Anything's possible. But right now, Town is the currency that we're using. We're doubling down on it. Obviously, the light paper talks about that.
I think that was all the questions I had about the light paper. The only other question I have on here is, when will you share leaderboards again after competitions? Which I think Pablo was going to talk about.
Am I? Yeah, I mean, the plan is to have a period of time after the event ends where people can still go in. They can't play, of course, but they can check out the leaderboards. We're seeing if we can squeeze that into the release. But yeah, definitely on the plans.
Cool. It seems like Moise is saying when. No. Wait, this whole meeting is about when Godot and we get nothing. Maybe we forgot to mention that in the Godot update, did we? Should we talk about it now, Michelle, or should we go to leaks, guys? What do you think? Timing or leaks?
You can talk about whatever you'd like to talk about. I think they're probably pretty tied together. So
Okay, so let's talk about I talked, what is it, 2 weeks ago, a week and a half, I can't remember. I think it was before Thanksgiving, where I said, hey, come the first week of December, we will have notes about the date, and we'll share people with you. Fortunately, I don't have that quite yet. We will have it next week. Timing. Thank you, Mr. Potty Mouth. Here's the update about the date. I need another week or so. And I'll just kind of explain it a bit. I thought we were going to be able to have everything put together, locked down tight today. But things are taking a little bit longer. And I'm just going to go into details on that and Volcron mentioned a little bit. And here's the process. Here's all we do. Hey, what's all left? Who's going to do it? How long's it going to take, right? As you people who've done development, people who've done development before, know that, hey, sometimes as you're working through schedules, you've run into things like, hey, these two systems maybe weren't quite written the way to make them work together as easy as possible or as frictionless as possible. I saw one of those in some of the live support systems that we want to have ready to go out. So, hey, I asked the team to look at, should we fix that up? Should we take a little bit of extra time? And part and parcel of saying, should we take extra time, is the investigation and then pulling together, the work that needs to be done. And, I think it's might be a little bit of inside baseball, but in addition to saying, hey, what's all the stuff left to do? I said, hey, can we do just a little bit of a review to see maybe where we've had some trouble with coming up with the task scheduling or the time it takes to get stuff done so that we can fix that going forward. So yeah, sorry, I don't have a date right now, but we'll have it next week. And for all the salty people out there, Captain Gala missed the deadline. I do not believe it. You know what? Yeah, I thought we could have it done, but I wasn't going to push the team to work over Thanksgiving. I'm not going to make them crunch all night just so that we can do that. I'll take the heat. If you want to be salty and crabby, directed at me, we're all doing our best. But I can say, look, it's just a delay on the announcement of the time. It's not going to be much shift in what I think our original plan is, but we'll see. So go ahead, rain down salt. There you go, Willow. It's okay. I know what's going on behind the scenes, and it's real exciting stuff. We're just not quite ready. And technically, it's not the end of the first week of December. So, but yeah. Any questions on that, guys? Townstar team members, Mr. Pot, Mr. Potty Mop. That's all. Any other notes? So Volcron, you were about to share some thoughts on the planning process. You didn't want to go into too much detail on it. You can
Yeah.
share some notes here.
Yeah. Verbally, or you want me to just stick some thoughts in chat, or?
Okay, send it verbally. Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, I am maybe OCD. I am I take comfort in checklists and, groupthink and whatever. I don't like to just wing it. I don't think any of us do, and our team is really good about putting down all of their thoughts, not just for like the next release, but for the future. So a lot of that, it takes a while to go through and figure out what matters for this release, what doesn't, what are some edge cases we haven't thought of, what comes up during play tests. So in planning the big features, which I won't name here, so I don't know what we've disclosed, but the big features, along with all the little things like, does this NFT behave the right way? What about this edge case? It's all in a list, and it takes a fair amount of time to get. If you've ever done dev work, estimates are very difficult, and most devs, I think most devs would rather be coding than giving their boss estimates. Like when I ask them, how much time to do this? It takes time, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mal.
And I want to jump in there. It takes time. And then the other thing is, no dev wants to do a bad job at that, right? Everybody wants to, when you go and ask them how long it's going to take to code up the system, they want to give a good answer for that, right? And we don't want to rush them and say, just tell me it's going to be done in a day when it might take 3 days or 5 days, right?
Yeah.
So I really impressed kind of working through this in a very just pedantic and methodical way.
Yeah. We have every 50 different ways to slice our workload, right? Like based on priority or category or when was it added, how far along is it, there's even some interesting metrics on things like how turbulent is this? You could stick something in the game like, oh, I'm gonna add message of the day, and okay, that's cool. But then you might stick something else that's like, oh, I want to add a thing that happens on load to every town. And now you have to account for, I may be rambling a little bit, but now you have to account for, oh, that's going to affect a ton of systems. So you have to think really clearly before you give producers or, SVPs or whatever, before you give them time on that. So.
So you know what I'm looking at, all the memes they're saying, Volcron trying not to leak and everything. You guys know I ask some questions off the cuff just to have fun with that, right? Unprepared questions.
Actually, that meme was me. Sorry, I just love doing memes.
I do like the comment that Moise is like now, and it's like, wait, I never give an estimate for his own stuff. And then yeah, guys, team's working hard. I thought we'd have a date today. We're so close to it. I have the data. I wanted people to have some time off and not just crunch themselves over the holidays. So hey, blame it on me. But we are really close. This really isn't changing much in our plans because guys know that how tight we as a team are with being really careful when we announce something, we're spot on with it. And to avoid, the forever when, right? So anyways, that's moving on. So sorry, don't have a date. We'll have it very, very soon. Not soon, not 2 weeks. Just have it next week, right? And we'll go from there. I think people will be excited. Any notes before we get to leaks? I'm looking at some of I'm looking at some of the notes there. Yeah, Dash Riprock. We try not to set dates by throwing darts at a dartboard. I know people that do that, or other people that use sort of a poker planning method. I'm just like, let's get the tasks, talk to the people, find out how long they're going to take to do it, put them all together, and then we'll have a game. So before we go on, Mal and Michelle, any questions come up in the community that we need to talk to before we get to leaks and other stuff?
See, one question for you, probably, Sage. I think DeFi crypto.
What's the question? I'm scrolling back crazily trying to find it.
Can you comment on how credit card purchases will be used in terms of distribution and rewards, or if they are included? This was not in the white paper. I believe it was, but maybe we can just clear that up.
Yeah, I think it was in the white paper. Credit card purchases will not be converted into the distribution for town. And I think even Bitbender covered this pretty clearly. I can't remember if it was in gold, maybe, but there's legal reasons for that. And so we're not going to do that. So pretty simple. We're going to keep, I like to just really keep it simple and say we're not going to cross the streams, to use that old Ghostbusters analogy. Keep it simple, keep it clean, make it simple for everybody else as well. Rocket Unit, news on external Web3 wallet integration. I don't have news to share. That's not our project, but I know recently I've heard other discussions about other parts of Gala working on that. That's not my area to share. Maybe Bitbender or somebody else can talk more about that next time you see them. Any other questions? Anything on Twitter? Are we seeing any questions on Twitter? I'm watching Discord pretty tightly.
Nope, no questions on Twitter so far.
Okay, thank you. Atomic, you still got power?
I currently do. It is scheduled to go off in 3 hours.
Oh, feel for you. I feel for you. Let's Lonely Island. Is there any talk of letting us connect a cold wallet so we can store NFTs safely while using them in game? There's no discussion of that right now. I'm not saying there won't be in the future, but not right now. Gandrolf. Scrolling up pretty quick. Thanks for all the questions, guys. PDE resumes. Will our earning NFTs need to be transferred to Jiri in order to earn? Right. If so, is that something we can be doing now? Great question. No, they will not. But as we talked about multiple times, you're free to leave them in the ETH basis. If we move them with Jiri, then you get all the benefits that come that we're going to be able to build as a team into those same NFTs. So I like to call it like a migration. And some of the stuff we talked about being in the new version as we start adding more features beyond the kind of the Townstar Live features that we currently have is upgrading buildings, right? So level 1, level 2, level 3, etc. That won't. I'm not sure we can even do that on the ETH basis without a lot of machinations and whatnot. So we'll transfer over to Jiri, and that'll just make things much easier for everybody. And so, yeah, there's your answer. And are we ready to start it now? Not yet. Not yet. Once we're up and running, of course, we'll want to test that part of it and let everybody else. We'll be doing some limiting testing through that to make sure it all works for everybody. Other questions? Did you join Mal? Oh, that was Mal's question. All right, well, why don't we move on to the next piece of our agenda, Michelle?
I think we're moving on to leaks now.
Ooh,
I'm sure that
awesome.
Mal has a ton of leaks.
So leaks. I was awake late last night gathering some. I got a nice little video I can share of the crafts and some images and stuff. I know the YouTubers like to post some of those, so we got some of those. But leaks. Oh my! So it's been a busy week. I spoke to Santa. So it turns out.
Wait. When did you speak to Santa? How did you speak to Santa?
Oh, I got a phone call about a week ago, and there was something, so a lot of rambling about there's supply issues, there's more people in Townstar, so more presence, and the supply issues. They basically Santa's decided it's easy if he comes directly to town. So Santa's coming to town, which is wonderful. Yeah.
Santa's coming to town.
Yeah, so he's coming to town now because he thinks it's much easier if he brings him and his gang to just into Townstar, then you can supply him directly, and then he doesn't have these supply chain issues. So what does it mean when Santa comes to town? Well, he comes as a group. There's Santa, there's his elf foreman, there's the master wizard, and the wizard's workshop. So that's 4 total buildings as part of Santa's domain, you see, and they're all coming with them now from the North Pole. They are now going to be in Townstar. We should hope to see those next week, unless Rheosaurus is going to jump in and tell me I've got the date horribly wrong. So let's have a little talk
I'm not
around
saying
that.
anything. I'm not saying anything.
Okay, good. So a lot comes of this. I've got a lot to unravel. I've got a lot to say, so everyone's going to have to bear with me. I will maybe do a speed waffle. Who knows? But yeah, so there's a few things I leaked last night very, very subtly. Cold, a new proximity, which is very interesting. What does that bring with it? We'll talk about that soon. But we've got a special one on Monday. I'm going to try and cover this around because I want to address a few things as well. First of all, around buildings. People ask, when we do buildings, they have no craft production time. That is correct. They go on different things like ghost cards, turkey skins. I've got other ideas that you'll see soon. So that utility is separated. So then people have that question about, on buildings. Okay, well, I don't think it's ever been made as clear as it should be, but I'm going to make it all clear now for everyone. And I hope that you all pass this information around Discord because I see people speaking and it just tells me that people aren't acknowledging a few things. First of all, I am pretty stuck doing metas that are friendly for a play-to-earn server. Why am I doing that when it's for a competition? Because it's global metas. They go out to all servers. So what does that mean? That means I can't make the windmill $1 million and 50 lumber to build one. Because the idea of a new player turning up and going into one of our servers and hitting all these massive barriers, it just makes no sense. So metas have to sit above a certain level anyway. And it means we miss out a lot of stuff and we can't be as cheeky and can't be as, make the point of why you've got to build an NFT that you can place down. Why is it special? And I used a windmill as an example. We've got the spooky windmills. That's the kind of one of those buildings that is cheap in game for now. But if one day it costs 50 lumber and $1 million in a cake meta to build a windmill, well, then you will understand the point. But what I want to be clear is these don't happen now because I can't do it. It's as simple as that. If I did it, it would cause a bad side effect. Whereas when there is a meta per server, when it's per competition, you can absolutely expect things at the start, things that you take for granted now as why would I need utility for that? You're going to need utility for that. Or at least benefit from it, I should say. You won't need it, you will benefit from utility. So I just wanted to put it out there when people go on about buildings, no production time. Trust me, don't get comfortable with this super easy, storehouse, everything you need at the start. Everything's cheap and easy to get it out of your minds, people. It's going away. That is not the point of a competition. We're just locked. We can't do very much at the lower level that then escalates. If it's slower at the early game, you can guarantee it's going to be slower at the end game as well. So the idea of having buildings to plop down is going to be fantastic. That goes for all of them, I believe. Just that ability to skip that long process. So I just wanted to get that out the way. I want to speak about cold now. Cold is a new proximity. That's going to come with the Christmas buildings. Other than the Master Wizard, which we're going to speak about the Master Wizard very soon. But the Master Wizard is immune to cold. So I just want to note he's immune to cold. Doesn't like cold, can use magic to stop himself being cold. And he will. So the Magic Wizard doesn't like cold. So he's immune, which is wonderful if cold were to slow timers down, for instance. Having a building that doesn't care is great in that sense, especially if you need something that building makes. For the future of cold, we're talking ice ponds, animals that require passive ice constantly. Maybe it's an Icelandic duck and we're doing eider down, If anyone ever wants to look at a beautiful harmony of humans and animals, go and look at the eider down ducks in Iceland. They build little houses for them. The ducks come, spend the winter, and leave with the chicks, and they leave the beautiful and rare eider down left over. So there's that nice thing. There's multiple things. You've got ice cream. Last night I was having a complete brainstorm of all the different things we're going to do with passive cold. Things like if we were to do a refrigeration type deal, you would need passive cold as one of the construction requirements. Now, what I'm going to address on passive cold, because I know someone's thinking it, is why not call it ice? Well, if we were to do an ice edge and there's going to be an ice craft, then people might get confused why the ice edge doesn't provide passive ice, because it's giving cold, not ice, and I don't have to constantly explain the difference between ice and cold. It's a cold edge is what we're going to call it. So it'd be the cold proximity. Now that I've got all of that out of the way, I've probably missed half the things I was meant to go on about, but we're going to talk about the Master Wizard, because the Master Wizard comes first of the bunch. There's 4 buildings. To get the 4th one, you need to buy all of the others from the store. So that's 1 of each. That'll be 1 Master Wizard, 1 Santa's Factory, and 1 Wizard's Workshop. Those who get 1 of each of those from the store will get the Creation Lab dropped to them. Now, at the top of my head, there'll only be 500 Creation Labs, but only 250 available from getting the building. That's because it'd be capped to the Santa's Factory, which would be a legendary, so it's capped to that, but it is 250. There'll be a blog later explaining this. There'll be 500. There'll be another 250 for something else fun soon, but because we're aware of people see numbers and get confused, there'll be a blog later. I just want to address that now. You'll see 250 likely available from these buildings, from this way of getting it, and then another way which will be some, kind of how we do fun events and whatnot. So now that I've explained that, we've got the Master Wizard coming first. It's a bit of a strange order. Why? Let's talk about the metas. So I can appreciate that it was a bit... First of all, we know it's a bicycle. I believe Tofu already cracked that it was a rocking horse at as the second meta. And all these buildings are pretty much involved. So you're going to have the Master Wizard. Now, I said it was a bit of a strange order to do it. It's just because 1 building you get from getting the other 3, the other 2 are related to both metas, and then you've got the Master Wizard. So we've got the Master Wizard. Why is the Master Wizard cool? Well, he's immune to cold. And you're going to need ice for things. The Master Wizard does much more than ice, though. You are going to need the Master Wizard for a meta that's coming very soon, and in January. And he also makes these wonderful goods that you are going to see as we go along. So I can't express the Master Wizard enough, because the magic, as Sage said, opens a wide design space, and it gets me very excited, as you can tell.
I love it. I actually was going to make sure everybody quite understands that this is a whole new area to play in. I love it, Mouse. So it's such a great idea.
Yeah, so we get to play around a lot with things like this. But what I haven't revealed yet about all these Christmas buildings, I mentioned that they'll be going in-game on Monday. They'll all be in the in-game store, as we do. You get to see all the new cool units and the buildings. But what I did is they're all half price in terms of what they cost cash-wise. And the wages are 50% less. And that ends at the end of December. It's gone. Everything, the cash cost for the building doubles. The wage goes up 50%. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's take a look at the Master Wizard, for example. Right now, he is a $1.5 million cash building with a 2,000 per minute wages. Okay? That's going to go to $3 million to buy the building with a 3,000 per minute wage. Pretty expensive, especially when you are knocking ice out, or you're going to need ice and a few of them, and then there's the enchanted objects that you're going to need for the rocking horses and the January meta that's in there, and you're just going to need, and you don't want an expensive Master Wizard. So the nice thing about the Master Wizard that's coming on Monday is, 1, you can place him, which is just wonderful. You're not paying 3 million or even 1.5, but his wages is 1,400 per minute, and it will never be higher than that. So right now, it's less than the in-game one, and when December ends, it will be more than half below the wages of the in-game one. And again, this unit is immune to cold, and that will be the ice biomes and stuff like that. And, I'm sure everyone can appreciate that's a big biome. It's a big area of design space as well. So cold's wonderful. And these buildings, why, if you think to yourself, do I want to start getting all of these 3? Well, yes, because there is a lot of passive cold involved with these buildings, and for probably a good while, they're going to be the only ways to get it. And then when you can get it elsewhere, I would expect these to be fairly strong versions. So all of the buildings, keep an eye out. Immune cold. Some of them carry cold. We're going to speak all about that. There's a blog coming. I'll be in Discord. And now I've got leaks because I feel like I've been speaking forever in silence, and it's such a weird feeling to just speak into your phone non-stop. So we got the Master Wizard coming Monday, as I've mentioned. There'll be some crafts going in Discord if I could ever load it. Did I miss anything? I feel like I feel like I missed something. We got the Master Wizard. It's an epic Master Wizard. There'll be 360 supply, and here is 2 photos. To try and highlight the beauty. I do have one confession to make. Maybe I need to get them all zoomed out. I had a more zoomed out one. There we go. So I spent so long trying to focus on the wizardry side of it, I forgot to put the snow on. So I am working with the artist, and yes, we will be putting some snow on there to get the winter theme in there. But I apologise. I was very focused on nailing that nice wizardry look because I feel like, it's nice. Now, why does Santa have a wizard? I just want to address this. The Master Wizard and the Wizard Workshop, they make ingredients that Santa needs for his factory and his creation lab. So Santa can do a lot of things, his elves can do a lot of things, but they do need to turn some of the things we provide into special crafts, which allow us to skip large boundaries of normal crafting and get some amazing products, which I will be sharing images of shortly.
I love that answer, Mal, because I think I asked that question, right? Why does Santa need a wizard? You're like, because.
Yeah, exactly. It was my fault for not expressing the law side of it, but yeah, they assist Santa in his providing away Townstar with presents. So many people, so many presents. Here's some leaks. Here's 5 pictures of all the crafts that are coming.
What?
So
Man.
just so you know, the Mystic
These are
Matter,
cool.
that beautiful thing there, that the artist was able to get an amazing wobble and FX glow on it, so it's all wobble and glowy and mysterious. So on there's the bicycle. That is the meta that you will be doing in the next competition. Underneath is molten glass. You will need that to make what is underneath the lights. Then you will have Mystic Matter, and one of the ingredients in Mystic Matter will be the below glue. And glue will be used in many things. And as I've been saying about these, the wizards and stuff, is these open the realms for those middle ingredients, and then for us to do like much more sort of creative things. So these are just introducing now, sort of early things that we can use. Someone said, are these magical? No, these are not the mostly Mystic Matter, but yeah, this is just some of the products that you'll be using this December and going forward. But these are all the ones related for the craft, for the meta that's coming on Monday. But this is where these come from. These are wizardry crafts, and they open the design space, as Sage was saying, for us to. These are just little middle, smaller ones. We're going to get more and more exciting as we go on. These are just to get that sort of middle things in there. The molten glass goes in the glass factory, by the way. I did offer everyone a glass factory ghost card. Everyone shouted and said, no, make it Barnes. So, but they'll be in the molten glass. The molten glass will be in the glass factory anyway, just so you all know, just to be clear. Someone said, what the hell is this? That is the Master Wizard and his very large tower that needs snow adding. Magic spaghetti, yes, that is glue. That is what happens when you ask a wizard to knock some glue out for you, and you go a nice, cool, creative way. So I haven't spoke about some of the ingredients, I suppose. I've just shown you them, which is interesting. So you'll need the molten glass to make the lights. You'll need blue steel, Mystic Matter to make the bike. And the lights, of course. You need glue for the Mystic Matter. You need cotton yarn. I was trying to tell everyone with those legendary fabric plants, like, being able to start knocking that cotton yarn out, very nice. Molten glass is going to have a future in other things as well. I really wanted to get us some glass type crafts in there, and I know Tofu's been at me for some stuff like that as well. So that molten glass is also a little sly devil slopped in there that'll just be coming in useful. A lot of these are nice middle ingredients, you know, your tier 3s and 4s, which are what open the path for how difficult a lot of metas are, what the strategy is going to be. So, yeah, I hope everyone's excited as I am. This is just the first part. As we've mentioned, there's 4 buildings total. If you get one of each building from the store, you'll get the 4th one dropped. Top Boy can maybe answer if there's a limit of on that. Probably not because of the way the Christmas works, the Santa Factory, but he can correct on that. If someone DMs me, I can explain the price for everyone. I'm sure they want to know. I think it's 360 supply in the store. It'll be an epic Master Wizard. He's immune to cold. Please don't forget it. And he will also be the key for making a certain icy product. And other things like enchanted objects, which you will 100% need. And magic powder as well. I didn't mention magic powder. I'm trying to not say it because I don't like putting myself in holes. But after a tweak, the magic powder might be a decent non-windmill, non-animal, so no feed mill, no windmill type cash rush if you own a Master Wizard. You certainly wouldn't just be getting one in game, but if you own a Master Wizard NFT, I think the magic powder will have a decent cash rush element to it anyway, in terms of being low lift to rush. But we'll see. Maybe people disagree, maybe they don't. Top Boy didn't answer for the price unless he posted it in a channel I haven't looked in.
I'm not seeing it either. Hey, Top Boy, are you here on stage with us? Just share out.
Oh, he did send maybe? No. No, can't see. I went with him.
I was going to say, while we're getting that sorted, did you guys all see the snow there? What do you guys think? Cool. I see a lot of snow, a lot of white fluffy stuff. HB. Grumpy says way too much leaks.
Sage, I'm on stage.
I think Top Boy just joined us.
I put in a request. Yeah, well, we got the price point, we got the supply for the Master Wizard. It's gonna be in store 1 o'clock, typical Monday morning or Monday afternoon rather. The price point is $150, and the max supply on the Epic Master Wizard is $360 in store. I was just about to write that in Discord, but figured I'd say it out here.
I wonder how that's going to translate to. I wonder how that's going to translate through the transcription. Let's see, Willow, did that come through? Do you hear it? I tell you, Willow, you got to join us in the chat because you're probably missing a lot. Maybe Top Boy, you want to just drop that in Discord as well.
I'll do that right now.
Awesome. But I see some notes. Some people are liking the snow. Yeah. Yeah, nice. I love one of the things I love in making town and farm games and stuff in the past is just how dramatically different everything can look and feel when you add a layer of snow to it, and it kind of hits a lot of nostalgic chords. I think with me at least, if not other people as well. What do you guys think about all of? Oh my God, Mal, there's a ton of stuff. What do you guys think about all that? I saw Grumpy saying too many leaks. Is that too much? Maybe we shouldn't leak as much. Maybe we shouldn't say it. We shouldn't share as much. I don't know.
So less leaks in the future is what I'm hearing. Is that what we want?
On behalf of Grumpy, to be clear, no leaks in the future. Don't leak in AMAs. Why would we spoil them? Why would we do that? We won't do that.
Just to clear up some confusion, yes, it's going to be available in credit cards and Town. We're not selling in Gala for this one, as you guys know. So Town, credit card, and the last thing was there is a purchase limit. The purchase limit is going to be 3 per transaction.
Got it. Oh, I see. Who is that? Wait a minute. I saw some RAH says no leaks, and he's really emphasized no leak. Wow. Okay. So that's 2 people who don't want more leaks. Just kidding. We're having fun, guys.
I think Rubino's put a nice little message in Discord here.
Oh yeah.
Buy it.
Oh, is that your alt? Is that your alt there? Did you just type that?
That's jokes.
All right. Any more questions? So I think we've answered. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. I can understand if people have a question about some of the stuff Mal raised, but it sounds, I dare say, sounds magical. Really awesome. Opens up a huge new design space. I saw some people kind of hinting at what might be possible. Some of you got it. Some of you can see into the future where Mal is going. So that's awesome. And it's just so much more. That's I'm a bot. I love it. Are we seeing any more questions? Oh, wait, there's one. What will be the utility for Epic Master Wizard?
So the Epic Master Wizard, he has the, well, I don't even want to call it a percent reduction yet, because at the moment his wages are fixed in at 1,400 per minute, which is a lot less than now, and will be more than 50% of when it returns to its full amount. He's also immune to cold, and you'll be needing the wizard for things like ice and other things to come, and you'll be involved obviously in the coming metas that you're going to do very, very soon. So there's obviously that advantage as well. But the fact that his wages is much, much cheaper, the unit walks obviously much, much quicker. That's a standard thing for the building NFTs, being the wages less, in this case a lot less than what would normally be for the rarity. And the unit obviously gets a move on because he's got a quicker speed. I'll have to get the exact number. I think he is 2 quicker than the in-game version, but he's also immune to cold, and obviously a part of the set of when you're going to be doing ice and stuff in the future, which you will be wanting them all for, just to be clear.
Cool. Hey, I see. Asked a question if we've received any feedback from Light Paper. Yeah, we've received some. Some of the people worried about, well, wait, if we buy with credit card, it won't get mixed in with Town. How's that fair? Other people are saying, are you getting actually, is the Townstar team being supported enough by Gala? Because it looks like, a fair portion of the earnings in the way it flows goes to Gala. Yeah, but nothing. I mean, one of the things that thankful, and if people do have feedback, please do share it, or more feedback. It's been pretty well received. We had a little bit of a fix up. We missed a couple of spots, a couple of like a typo or two, I think, in there, and we quickly fixed that up before we shared it to the wider Townstar community. We released it to the gold community, I think, about 2 days early. They pointed out some typos, and we fixed that stuff up, and yeah, but it's holding solid right now. Again, if people do have feedback, please share it. We're interested in knowing it. But it feels, we try to keep it, here's the approach we took. Keep it as simple as possible. Make it easy for everybody to read and understand. When we do that, then it's easier for us to code. It's easier for us to support. It's easier for us to instrument and monitor over time. Cool. Any other questions we see? Rocket Unit, yeah, send feedback.
I don't know if anybody has any live questions they want to ask. I'll bring them up on stage if they do.
Yeah, let's try that. That'll be an interesting experiment in improv. Anybody got any questions in the community? You will have to just be polite and thoughtful and mindful. I'm not seeing any. Atomic, are you seeing anybody?
Nope. I know Rocket Unit mentioned he had a question, but I don't know if he still has one.
I saw some stuff in Discord just now. There's a couple of other notes in there. Okay. Is in-game version of Wizard Shop not immune to cold? Wow, that sounds like a question for you.
Sorry, what was that? I was just replying. I'm getting asked some questions there. Well, I'll just address these. Saves me typing it. So this clarifies. It says, Chris, 50% off, says Willem Martin. That's the in-game cash costs. So the ones that in-game that you can play with, yes, they are going to return. The wages, sorry, will go up 50%, and the cost of the building in-game is going to go up by double. So whatever, like the other buildings have got prices as well, they're going to double. But the Master Wizard specifically, while we're on that subject, is 1.5 million at the moment, and it will go to $3 million as its base. And of course, any metas that are coming, like the Rock and Horse one, you could probably imagine it might be 5 million. Maybe it's, maybe it's 5K wages. I don't know. This is a building I can be more aggressive on because it's not a windmill and some new guy isn't going to stroll into a Master Wizard. So I just want to point out that, yes, they are not the correct values shown in the game. That's just a little, come on, everyone, have fun, play with it, place them, see what you think of them, and then get ready for the core change to happen where they get the real values, and then you can enjoy trying to grind them out. What was the question that I missed? Giffy, if you buy 3 of X building, do you get 3 of the 4th? Yes. That's how it works. If you buy 3 of each of the buildings common, then you would get 3 of the 4th. How many are there of the next 2 NFTs? If you mean in the other buildings, we'll have a blog coming and we'll sort of get all of that information going as we go along. Extra. Did I miss the question you asked? Sorry, Sage.
Yeah, there was a question about. I'm trying to scroll back. I love all the comments that are flowing through really quick. Question about, maybe somebody just re-ask it again, about something like in-store buildings immune to cold or something like that.
Oh, so the Master Wizard is immune to cold. Other buildings might not be so lucky. So do expect the cold proximity has to be worked in. So don't be shocked all of a sudden if one day a core change happens and a bunch of things don't like cold. That's kind of always the fun part with proximities, especially when they do that double. They have a bonus for something and a negative for another. I always enjoy those pros and cons. So yes, the idea of that is, what does it matter? Is the Master Wizard the only way to make ice or something? Picture like something like a water tower, maybe as an example, could have ice in it, but it wouldn't be immune. Therefore, ice pair whatever might take like 25 minutes. Versus, like a minute or whatever in the Master Wizard. So that's the kind of difference. Having immune to cold works by far quicker times. Because ghost cards and things like that aren't going to save you when you've got absolutely wacky timers that go past a certain thing. They'll do some damage, but they won't do a lot. So immune to cold, yes, I think you'll appreciate being able to make ice and it not be really, really slow.
I seen a note from LV Postman. So bonfire NFT to remove the cold. Oh, interesting. Nibblebit. Go ahead.
I was looking at passive, like heat and all the other proximities, swampy and just all the varieties. So, I would expect more proximities to come. I will say one thing about the Master Wizard, though. He's a Master Wizard, so I don't ever expect him to be not immune to anything. So I can never imagine him having something that makes the Master Wizard slow. I just want to put it out there because it's not like, because he weren't speaking about future proximities. He's immune to all the current proximities, so nothing in-game will slow him down, and it is very, very likely that nothing ever will. So he's not just immune to cold, he's immune to everything, but specifically on what we're speaking about now, he is cold immune, and nothing else is, as it stands. See about rarities. So they got the Epic Master Wizard, yes, the Legendary Santa Factory, and the other 2 are Rare Wizard Workshop, and then the Rare North Pole Creation Lab. But did something a little bit cool with the units. I feel like because the Santa Factory has been designed so it slots next together with the Creation Lab because it's technically one building. I was working with the team and the artists. We were going to go and do, something like the Malta or Galaverse type NFTs where they're massive and they sit on the edge. So we could have that giant factory. But that's a lot of effort. There's a lot going on. Then it brings the design in a forced edge for the Santa's factory and blah, 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 blah. So what we did is we just designed for like we did with the Haunted Mansions type deal. to try and just get it so that those two buildings look really nice together because they are one. So on that basis, you'll notice like the Santa NFT, the Santa units that comes with the Creation Lab NFT, the one that you get for getting all three, you'll notice he's got like his legendary trims on and stuff because it's a legendary Santa, because his building's legendary. That doesn't make Santa not legendary because he's in a rare building. So I just wanted to put that out there. You'll notice the elf foreman rocks some splendid. He's got his festive look, and then he's got his Santa's legendary Santa factory look as well. So the NFTs have been sort of color-wise. We've tried to be fun and appreciate that the unit might be separate than the building in that sense of, you know, who owns what, because it's still Santa's factory, and just because Santa's next door creating new things doesn't mean he's not a legendary.
So I love your note there, Dash Rip Rock. Yes, information overload. Somebody else is extreme. We need a diagram. Yes, it feels like there's to dig into this with all this new stuff. Hey guys,
Yeah,
oh, go ahead, Mel. I was just gonna say
I
we're
was
like
thinking-
oh, go ahead.
No, sorry, you go on. It's I think there's a delay in my end. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no problem. I was saying we're about an hour, so we should probably be looking to wrap up. Any last bits or notes here, Mel?
Yeah, it just as it's usually, this is a lot to get out, so I appreciate trying to just listen to me. People often who don't have English as a first language have to try and spend a minute listening to what I'm saying and decode it, so I apologize. But you will find me in Discord, and I will explain these. There's a blog post that's coming later on today to try and help explain some of this. And obviously we'll be in the Discord, so don't worry, it'll all be out. I've posted all the crafts you'll be using. I'll be around in Discord, so just nobody worry, nothing's going to be said in this AMA and never mentioned again, so it'll be all okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And Oz, yeah, did you miss the Godot Day? Yeah, we couldn't talk about it because Willow Martin wasn't listening, and we really wanted for him to be here listening. No, just teasing, of course. What if you're here? Hope you're listening. We talked about. I'm going to share that next week. Taking a little extra time to get to planning. I know that's disappointing to some. It's not a huge impact on the schedule. I just want to make sure we get our planning correct and we didn't miss anything. So that's coming soon. That's coming soon. But then again, get Willow onto Twitter, and it'll be easier for us to share the date. Will, by the way, Willow's reading the transcript. Yes, there he is. All right. Well, Michelle, anything left on our agenda?
No, that's all I've got.
Is that enough, everybody? We're an hour and 8 minutes into this AMA. So cool. I think that's good. So I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining in. I love it. It's a blast watching all the comments fly up on Discord and all the pictures and memes and everything like that. That's a lot of fun for us. You guys in the community give us energy on the team. It's exciting, it's fun, and we love sharing the work that we're doing. So next, I want to say thank you to all the hard work from the Townstar team, both live and Godot versions, as well as all the people up on stage for taking time to join us here today. It's a whole lot of fun, and hope everybody has a great weekend. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Oh, wait a second. Ra, I got to ask you, ornaments caught people off guard. What do you mean by that? Share quick.
Oh, he mentioned it might have been 2001 week. Is that what comments I've just seen?
I don't know. I just said, Ross says, ornaments caught people off guard. They all lived happily after. Okay. Well, we'll watch for a response there as it's coming. Again, thanks everybody for coming and joining us today, and thanks everybody on the stage.
Yeah, thank you. These are always a blast.
Thanks, everyone.